You're watching Tag TV.
A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India is steadily expanding its global economic footprint through landmark trade partnerships. The India-UK Free Trade Agreement is now in force, opening wider opportunities for businesses and exporters. Meanwhile, negotiations on the India-EU Trade Pact are nearing completion, a move expected to boost trade, attract investment, strengthen supply chains and create new jobs on both sides.
Signaling a new era in India-UK economic relations, the India-UK Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement has officially come into force, granting zero duty access to nearly 99% of Indian exports to the UK. The landmark agreement is expected to accelerate bilateral trade across sectors including textiles, leather, gems and jewellery, engineering goods, marine products and pharmaceuticals, unlocking new opportunities for businesses and investors in both countries. Marking the occasion in Chennai, British Deputy High Commissioner for Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry attended the flag-off ceremony of the first export consignments to the United Kingdom under the new agreement.
The way that the trade deal is going to benefit the two countries is simply put, by making it cheaper, quicker and faster to do business between the two countries. In Tamil Nadu specifically, there are some sectors that really stand to gain, such as textiles and leather, automotives, marine and pharma, not to mention pharma. So we're really excited today that this comprehensive economic trade agreement has come into force.
India exported goods worth $13.44 billion to the UK during the 2025 to 2026 financial year, while imports from Britain stood at $11.68 billion. Bilateral services trade reached $35.44 billion in 2024, reflecting the growing economic partnership between the two countries. Under the new trade agreement, the UK has immediately eliminated tariffs on nearly 99% of Indian exports, while India will reduce duties in phases, protecting sensitive sectors. The agreement is expected to significantly boost bilateral trade, strengthen investment, and create new opportunities for businesses and exporters in both countries.
We are very excited because it's a landmark milestone for both the countries and between both the economic relationships. So we are very excited and it was a long awaited. I think it will create a very strong supply chain between both the countries. It will create a platform for new and young homegrown brands in both the countries.
In Surat, India's diamond and jewellery capital, where nearly 90% of the world's diamonds are cut and polished by volume, exporters are optimistic about the India-UK trade agreement. They believe the pact will enhance market access, boost exports and strengthen Surat's position as a global jewellery manufacturing hub.
सभी जो ज्वेलर्स है और जितने भी यहाँ से एक्सपोर्टर है, गोल्ड, सिल्वर, डायमंड, प्लेटिनियम और सभी प्रकार की ज्वेलरी के लिए एक खुला माहौल मिलेगा। वहाँ पे जो ज्वेलरी जो यहाँ से जो अवेलेबिलिटी होती है वहाँ पे भी सस्ती मिलेगी। इंडियन जो हमारी जो हैंड कारीगरी जो है वो भी बाहर की कंट्री में, अभी यूके की कारीगरी में जो काफ़ी टाइमों से चल रहा था, वो बीच में ये टैरिफ के हिसाब से जो रोका हुआ था, अभी अच्छी तरह से चलने लगा।
India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal participated in the third India-European Union Business Roundtable in Brussels, highlighting the growing economic partnership. Following the conclusion of the India-European Union Free Trade Agreement in January, the pact is now in its final legal review and is expected to be signed by the end of this year.
Prime Minister Modi termed it a partnership for global good. Today's discussions reaffirmed our shared vision for an innovation-driven, trusted and future-ready growth partnership.
As India expands its network of global trade partnerships, it is strengthening economic ties with major markets across the world. With the India-UK agreement now in force, the India-European Union Pact nearing completion, and steady progress in trade negotiations with the United States, India is positioning itself as a trusted global manufacturing, investment and export hub.
Pakistan is facing growing criticism over its handling of unrest in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. For the fifth straight day, members of the Kashmiri Diaspora continued their sit-in outside the Pakistani consulate in Bradford, United Kingdom. They accused Islamabad of increasing military action in POJK and demanded the immediate withdrawal of Pakistani security forces. The protesters also called for an end to alleged unlawful killings and violence and urged the international community to intervene, saying the human rights situation is getting worse. Our report.
The protests may be taking place thousands of kilometers away from Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. But the message from Bradford is unmistakable. For the fifth straight day, members of the Kashmiri Diaspora gathered outside the Pakistani consulate, accusing Islamabad of turning POJK into a heavily militarized zone and demanding an immediate withdrawal of Pakistani security forces. Protesters alleged that instead of addressing public grievances through dialogue, Pakistan has responded with force, intimidation and an increased military presence.
वहाँ के लोगों की बातों को सुना जाए। आज भी हमारा यही रोना है कि आज़ाद कश्मीर के अंदर पाकिस्तानी पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस वो जो जारियत, बर्बरियत और जुल्म की इंतहा कर रही हैं उसको बंद किया जाए, उन्हें वापस बुलाया जाए, आज़ाद कश्मीर का अमन व अमान बहाल किया जाए, वहाँ के लोगों की बातों को सुना जाए और उनके जो भी मुतालबात हैं उनके साथ बातचीत करके उनको हल किया जाए। जुल्म, जबर और बर्बरियत की बुनियाद पर आप नफरतें पैदा कर रहे हो, आप एक ऐसा खलीज पैदा कर रहे हो जो शायद जिसको वापस करीब न लाया जा सके। इसलिए पाकिस्तान के जो आला क़यादतें हैं उन तक हमारा ये पैगाम है, हम देते रहेंगे, इससे पहले भी दिया है कि आप के खिलाफ हमारी जिदोजहद हर दौर में जारी रहेगी उस वक्त तक जब तक इंसाफ का बोलबाला नहीं हो जाता, जब तक हमारे रियासत से आपके नापाक अज़ाइम का खात्मा नहीं हो जाता, जब तक आप हमारे लोगों की इज्जत नफ्स को बहाल नहीं करोगे, हम आपके खिलाफ अपनी जिदोजहद जारी रखेंगे।
The Bradford sit-in is the latest chapter in a movement that has steadily gained momentum over the past several weeks. Protest organizers say the demonstrations were triggered by Pakistan's alleged crackdown on a growing public rights movement in POJK. Earlier protests in Bradford and London had already accused Pakistani authorities of using excessive force, imposing restrictions on movement, carrying out detentions, and attempting to suppress dissent. Protesters have repeatedly appealed to the international community to investigate the allegations and ensure accountability. Addressing the gathering, Jammu Kashmir National Independence Alliance chairman Mahmood Kashmiri alleged that Pakistani forces had once again killed 4 Kashmiris and were attempting to crush what he described as a peaceful people's movement. He claimed that a shutdown was being observed across POJK with participation from women, children and civil society, arguing that the unrest reflected widespread public anger rather than an isolated protest.
अब पाकिस्तानी कॉन्सुलेट ब्रैडफोर्ड के बाहर धरना देकर बैठे हुए हैं और आज एक बार फिर पाकिस्तान की जालिम फोर्सेस ने आज़ाद कश्मीर में हमारे 4 कश्मीरियों को शहीद कर दिया है और फोर्सेस की तादाद में इजाफा किया जा रहा है। हमारी पुरअमन तहरीक है और इस पुरअमन तहरीक को पाकिस्तान की कातल फोर्सेस जो हैं वो जबर के तौर पर ख़त्म करना चाहती हैं, मगर ऐसा मुमकिन नहीं है। ये अवामी तहरीक है और अवामी तहरीक को ताकत और जबर के तौर पर ख़त्म नहीं किया जा सकता। अब भी वक्त है अमन का रास्ता तलाश किया जाए। अमन के रास्ते में ही सलामती है। अगर पाकिस्तान का हुक्मरान तबका ये समझता है कि वो कश्मीरियों की लाशें गिराकर वो अपने जो मकासद हैं उसमें कामयाब हो जाएगा, तो ये मुमकिन नहीं है। इस वक्त पूरा आज़ाद कश्मीर जो है, पूरा आज़ाद कश्मीर शटर डाउन पहिया जाम है, जिसमें ख्वातीन और बच्चे शामिल हैं।
Meanwhile, anger was also visible inside POJK. At a gathering in Rawalakot, speakers questioned the legality of the military's actions and accused Pakistan's establishment of using violence to silence dissent. Protesters argued that no constitutional or legal framework could justify the deaths of civilians or the use of force against peaceful demonstrators.
कोई दुनिया में कोई कानून नहीं है, किसी किताब ने अंदर, किसी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने अंदर, खुदा ने कलाम ने अंदर ये बात नहीं लिखी कि कोई ब्रिगेडियर उठा तो इतना लाशा बचा, इतना खून बचा है। दुनिया में कोई कानून नहीं है, कोई कानून नहीं है। किसी एक ने वहां पर पूरी रियासत की यरगमाल बनाओ, चार दीवारियां पामाल करो, इतना नौजवाना की मासरा करी के इतना नौजवाना की डराओ धमकाओ, कोई दुनिया का कानून नहीं है।
The continuing demonstrations underline a widening challenge for Pakistan. What began as local protests inside POJK has now found resonance among the Kashmiri diaspora abroad, bringing international attention to allegations of excessive force, militarization, and shrinking civic space. Protesters in Bradford had vowed to continue their campaign until, they say, military deployment is rolled back, alleged human rights violations are addressed, and the voices of the people of POJK are heard.
And now it's time for Asia This Week, bringing you the top stories shaping the continent.
Tokyo government workers are being encouraged to wear casual clothes like polo shirts, t-shirts, shorts and sneakers instead of jackets and ties under the Tokyo Cool Biz campaign. The aim is to help staff stay comfortable during the extreme summer heat and reduce energy use. Toru Suda, a 34-year-old government worker, said it felt unusual at first, but he became comfortable as more colleagues started dressing the same way. Temperatures in Tokyo reached around 35 degrees Celsius, and Japan's weather agency has issued the year's first heat stroke alerts for the city. People have been advised to avoid long outdoor activities and use air conditioners. Japan is preparing for another very hot summer after last year's record-breaking heat, which caused over 100,000 people to be hospitalized for heat stroke. A Buddhist temple in South Korea is helping young singles find love through a special 2-day matchmaking retreat. The program takes place at Naksansa Temple and includes activities like tea sessions, temple tours, and trust-building games to help people get to know each other. It is organized by the Korean Buddhist Foundation for Social Welfare to encourage marriage as the country faces one of the world's lowest birth rates. One participant said she joined because she wanted to meet kind and serious people. The program is very popular, with more than 4,000 people applying for only 20 places. South Korea's birth rate has improved slightly but remains very low. The retreat ended with 5 couples finding a match, giving participants hope for the future. France's Bastille Day parade in Paris included 500 soldiers from the Coalition of the Willing, a group of countries supporting Ukraine. Around 25 Ukrainian soldiers also marched in the parade. The event came a day after leaders from about 25 countries met in Paris to discuss support for Ukraine. They announced a new air defense coalition to help Ukraine as Russia continues heavy attacks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz attended the parade with French President Emmanuel Macron. French and Allied aircraft also took part in a flypast. Macron said Europe faces serious security threats and must be ready to defend peace, freedom, and its values. Russia called the coalition countries hostile and said it was closely watching the meeting.
From bridges and metro networks to towering skylines, steel is playing a vital role in India's infrastructure growth. As the world's second largest steel producer, India is strengthening its manufacturing capacity, expanding exports, and embracing advanced technologies to meet rising demand. The steel industry has become a key driver of economic development, supporting major infrastructure projects across the country. At the center of this progress is Jamshedpur, a city known for its rich industrial legacy, where innovation, skilled workforce, and modern production techniques are shaping the next chapter of India's steel industry and its global competitiveness. India's infrastructure boom is reshaping the nation. From expanding highways and high-speed rail networks to modern airports, metro systems, and soaring skylines. Powering this transformation is a rapidly growing steel industry. Today, India is among the world's leading steel producers, with growth driven not only by large integrated steel plants but also by hundreds of small and medium-sized enterprises across the country. Finished steel consumption has more than doubled from nearly 77 million tons in 2014-15 to around 163 million tons in 25-26. India's growing global competitiveness is also evident in trade. In March 2026, steel exports rose 29.1% year-on-year, while imports fell 9.5%, underscoring the country's emergence as a stronger global steel manufacturing hub.
Steel industry, India is the bright spot. Our production levels have gone up drastically, almost up to 15%. We produced close to 152 million tons in financial year 25. Compared to that, in financial year 26, we produced 168 million tons. And our consumption has also been very good. We consumed almost 164 million tons. This is possible because of the positive outlook by the government of India, followed by the states.
At the heart of India's steel industry is Jamshedpur, the country's iconic steel city. Home to Tata Steel and nearly 1,200 large and small enterprises, the city has evolved into a thriving industrial ecosystem. Here, steel is transformed into precision-engineered components that power industries ranging from mining and cement to infrastructure and manufacturing. Conveyor systems and other critical industrial equipment produced in Jamshedpur play a vital role in keeping India's factories and heavy industries moving.
जो हम लोग प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं वो प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं हाइब्रिड आइडलर, चाहे वो स्टील इंडस्ट्री है, चाहे वो माइनिंग है, चाहे सीमेंट इंडस्ट्री है या फिर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के अदर इंडस्ट्री हैं. इसमें क्या है, टन्स ऑफ द मटेरियल जो मिनरल्स हैं वो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ले जाया जाता है, ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाता है. तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के बहुत से हैं, रेलवे एंड ऑल उसकी नहीं, लेकिन विद इन द फैक्ट्री ये मैक्सिमम जो ट्रांसफ़र होता है एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ले जाना, वो होता है कन्वेयर बेल्ट के थ्रू.
India's steel industry is undergoing a technology-driven transformation. In Jamshedpur, startups are developing advanced robotic systems that are making steel plants smarter, safer, and more efficient. From handling heavy materials to operating in hazardous environments, these innovations are boosting productivity while enhancing workplace safety.
टिपिकली इस तरह की इंडस्ट्री स्टील एंड आयरन, ऑयल एंड गैस, एनर्जी और डिफेंस सेक्टर में होती है, जहाँ पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बहुत लार्ज है और ऑटोनॉमी हमें अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड इन्वायरमेंट में देनी होती है। रोबोट को एक अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड एरिया में काम करना होता है विद इट ओन इंटेलिजेंस। So here what we are trying to build is the overall technological stack that includes the hardware, the software and the autonomy that typically enables the robot to work in these industries.
Driven by innovation, infrastructure growth, supportive policies, and a strong focus on domestic manufacturing, India's steel industry is reaching new heights with Jamshedpur at its core.
एशिया की सबसे बड़े स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री यहीं पे है और सारी इंडस्ट्री टाटा पे ही डिपेंडेंट है। तो हमारे जो प्रोडक्ट्स सब हैं वो तो रेगुलर यूज़ होते हैं, मतलब जब तक स्टील इंडस्ट्री और माइंसेस रहेगी ये हमेशा ही प्रोडक्ट यूज़ होते रहेंगे।
Today, steel is more than just an industry. It is the backbone of India's development journey. From large integrated steel plants to small manufacturers and emerging technology startups, every link in the value chain is driving a stronger, more self-reliant and industrially advanced India. A nutritious meal can do far more than satisfy a child's hunger. It can improve school attendance, enhance learning, and provide much needed support to families. In Nepal, the government's midday meal program is helping thousands of children remain in school, particularly in remote and economically disadvantaged communities. What began as a nutrition initiative has grown into a cornerstone of the country's education strategy, with plans to extend its benefits to millions more students in the years ahead. Here's a report from Makwanpur on how a simple school meal is transforming classrooms and shaping brighter futures. As the school bell rings for the lunch break, children rush out of their classrooms carrying plates, lunch boxes and bowls. They patiently queue up for a freshly prepared meal that for many is the most nutritious food they will eat all day. In the classroom, lunch is not just a break from lessons, it is a powerful incentive to attend school. Among the students waiting in the line is 5th grader Shishir Praja, who studies at Sri Bal Jeevan Jyoti Secondary School in Makwanpur, a district where many families belong to the marginalized Chepang community and struggle with chronic poverty.
किनकि स्कुलमा खाजा दिन्छ त्यही भएर घरको पैसा नि बच्छ।
For families living hand to mouth, one guaranteed meal at school eases household expenses while ensuring children remain in the classroom instead of staying home. Known locally as Diva Khaja Karyakram, Nepal's midday meal program has become one of the country's most significant social welfare initiatives. Designed to improve child nutrition, increase school attendance and reduce dropout rates, the program now forms an integral part of Nepal's broader education reforms. At Sri Bal Jeevan Jyoti Secondary School, nearly 130 students receive a cooked meal every school day. But every serving is inspected by the school nurse to ensure hygiene and quality before it reaches the children. Schools are encouraged to include protein-rich foods such as eggs, pulses, milk, and locally available seasonal vegetables to improve nutrition. The government currently provides approximately 13 US cents per child per day, with higher allocations for schools located in Nepal's remote Himalayan and far western regions where food insecurity is more severe. For schools like this one, the benefits extend well beyond nutrition.
यो खाजाको कारणले गर्दाखेरि विद्यार्थीहरू चाहिँ अत्यन्तै उत्साहित हुने उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ विशेष गरी चाहिँ यो दिवा खाजाले उपस्थितिलाई पनि एकदमै निरन्तरता दिइरहेको छ विद्यालयमा.
Recognizing the link between hunger and learning, the government of Nepal made the midday meal program mandatory for community schools from early childhood education through grade 5 by creating a dedicated budget line in the fiscal year 2020-21. The program has since become a central component of Nepal's long-term education strategy.
Under the school education sector plan, the government plans to expand nutritious school meals up to grade 8, improve school kitchen infrastructure, strengthen nutrition standards, and promote procurement of locally produced food through municipalities and farming cooperatives.
कतिपय विद्यालयहरूमा त दिवा खाजाले गर्दाखेरि विद्यार्थी सङ्ख्याको उपस्थिति उल्लेखनीय भएको विद्यार्थीहरू चाहिँ कतिपय विद्यार्थीहरू चाहिँ घरमा चाहिँ हैन विभिन्न कारणले गर्दा चाहिँ खाना नखाइ आउने खालको कन्डिसन पनि भएको भनेर पनि शिक्षक साथीहरूले हामीलाई भन्नुहुन्छ त्यो हिसाबमा चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ पौष्टिकतायुक्त चाहिँ खाजाको रूपमा दिवा खाजा जुन चाहिँ विद्यार्थीहरूले चाहिँ टिफिन समयमा पाइरहनु भएको छ त्यसले चाहिँ पक्कै पनि शिक्षाको गुणस्तरमा पनि यसले ठिक ढङ्गले चाहिँ काम गरेको छ विद्यार्थीको विद्यालयमा आउने दर जुन पहुँचको कुरा छ त्यो पहुँचको कुरामा पनि यसले सहयोग गरेको छ भन्न सकिन्छ
Nepal's national education policy recognizes school meals as an important tool for improving enrollment, attendance, and reducing dropout rates. For children like Shishir, however, the program's impact is measured less in policy documents and more in everyday life. A hot meal means one less burden on struggling families.
As Nepal expands the program, a simple meal is emerging as a powerful investment in the nation's future. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.
You're watching Tag TV.
Subscribe Tag TV YouTube channel and press the notification button.